Are you looking to become a Tier 1 operator in the gaming world? Elevate your games with Black Site Studio Terrain.
Okay, so we are hearing. Oh, let me not speak in the middle of the ad here. It sounds like the ad is actually playing correctly. Okay, finally, there we go. Alrighty. All right, everybody. Sorry for the late start. Um, Make sure my computer is not about to melt here. All right, hopefully that sound doesn't. Hello, Skoback. Hello, Toughy Ears. Hello, Because Science Teacher. Hello, everybody. Thanks very much for coming in. On the go-to meeting today, we have Damon and also Dylan. Dylan's actually going to be the opponent. Unless
Hey,
Damon,
everybody.
unless Damon wants to push around some counters. By the way, you can't have my Marines.
No, I'm just here to watch. My Twitch just doesn't seem to want to work, so thought I'd drop in here instead.
Yeah, Twitch is very temperamental, and OBS even worse so.
Yeah.
Um, Not the biggest fan, I'm not going to tell you. Oh no, am I breathing too deeply? Is the mic too close? I'm afraid that if the mic doesn't get too close, you're going to hear too many of these fans going that are keeping my computer from imploding, hopefully. If the screen suddenly goes black, everybody, it's because my computer decided to explode. It's not in a good mood today, and honestly, neither am I. I'm sorry, SitRep Podcast, I don't think I need help. I got the ad played correctly, so we got that done. I've got the template now showing, so we got that done. Hopefully I am re-streaming across multiple channels. I do not know if that's working. Jen, is that working hopefully in either Twitter or Facebook or YouTube? Do me a favor, Jen, just check it out on YouTube, SitRep on YouTube, and see if that's also going over there.
It's working on YouTube.
Oh, perfect. All right, awesome. Okay, everybody, we're finally set up. Sorry for the late start and for the little bit of drama there, but we are okay. Um, yeah, I would prefer if we didn't have the fan going, but if I don't, the computer will literally just turn off with a heat event, so I don't want to do that. So we're going to have to put it with a little bit of fan buzz in the background, but that's okay. Awesome. Thanks very much. Hey, look who's here. Ralph is here to join us. Awesome. We got almost the whole SitRep team here. Okay, everybody. So let's get this show on the road, because I know it's late where some of you guys are at. I'll try to keep stammering, even if it means I have to punch myself in the face. Okay, so Dylan is going to be our opponent today. I think Dylan has had enough fun playing his Australians over and over again and kicking the crap out of my poor helpless peasants. Either almost always, it's always going to be the Viet Cong, really, where the ATF or Australian Task Force primarily operated in South Vietnam is almost always going to be fighting the Viet Cong as opposed to the NBA. In contrast,
Yep.
today we are looking at the U.S. Marine Corps. So guess who's playing the U.S. Marines today? So the U.S. Marine
Oh, I
Corps,
wonder.
yeah, right. The U.S. Marines are. We're going to be looking at some of the hill fights up near the DMZ. So if anyone's had a chance to check out the new Op Center episode, episode 10, part 2 of our Vietnam series, we look at the different areas of the Vietnam War and where different parts of the where different parts of the conflict were and what kind of forces you would have there. Marines almost exclusively fought in the north, along the uppermost border, or the northernmost border between South Vietnam and North Vietnam and Laos, that little corner up in there. The area that divided South Vietnam and North Vietnam was called the DMZ, or the Demilitarized Zone, which, of course, it was anything but, especially once the Second Indochina War got started, or what we commonly call today the Vietnam War. The First Indochina War being the war against the French. But anyway. Okay, so during the later part of 1967, the NVA is building up for what is going to be called the Tet Offensive, which hits in full force on 30 January 1968. That's a little bit in the future now, but during the closing months of 67, we saw a lot of firefights, a lot of ops, a lot of NVA incursion coming across the Laotian border from the northern parts of the Ho Chi Minh Trail into the northern parts of South Vietnam. Places like Long Vây, Khe Sanh, Camp Carroll, the Rock Pile. These are all these artillery base camps and special forces base camps that are kind of set up across the northern part of South Vietnam to try and control the country. The Marines knew something was coming. I don't think anyone had a clear idea how big the Tet Offensive was going to be, but they definitely knew something was coming. They knew that the NVA continued to push more and more forces into the northern parts of South Vietnam. And what the North Vietnamese were trying to do was to take control of a lot of these hills. Hill 881 was one. I can't remember the other names of the hill. There was a bunch of hills. They usually began with 8. The name of the hill is basically how high it is in feet above sea level. Not terribly complicated. And the reason for this is, okay, everyone loves helicopters, everyone loves airstrikes. What really ruled the day in the northern part of South Vietnam, up in First Corps sector, is artillery. And artillery means you have to have the high ground. All these hilltops are prime solid gold real estate. Or the higher the hill, the better. And of course, both sides fought huge battles over these hills in the very mountainous and rugged part of the northern part of South Vietnam during the later part of 1967. So that's today's game. The Marine Corps is going to be doing a little bit of a sweep. Of course, we are playing in our usual, one of our favorites, Valor and Victory by Barry Doyle. Of course, Valor and Victory is a squad-level war game that you can download free to print and play at valor-and-victory.com. It's for World War II. What we've been doing over recent months, what we've been doing over the last year or so is updating it for modern conflicts. Here, obviously, 1967 Vietnam. So, one thing that we've kind of brought into the whole Valor and Victory game system for Vietnam is a new rule mechanic for hidden movement. The problem is, if I'm playing the Marine Corps today, that means that Dylan is going to be playing the NVA, and how are we going to do hidden movement when I'm running the computer here in our web conference software, and he's over in Australia? How are we going to handle hidden movement? Here's what I propose. I have 5 basic groups of North Vietnamese units. Okay, 5 basic platoons, for lack of a better word. Okay, and down here I have 10 tiles based on letters. So, Dylan, if you are agreeable to this, let me know if this sounds good. Somewhere over on your end, write down on a sheet of paper, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then next to them, letters. Of course, you wouldn't want A to be 1 and B to be 2 and C to be 3. I mean, you can just to throw me off. But basically just scramble them up so that what we can do is we can put these lettered tiles on the table and you can move these units around. And I don't know which ones are real and which ones are fake. We have 10 lettered tiles, A through J, and 5 actual units of NVA infantry, meaning that 6 through 10 will be fake. But I don't know I don't know if A corresponds to 1, or if A corresponds to 4, or if A corresponds to 7, which is nothing, or if A corresponds to 9, which is nothing. Is this starting to make sense? Does this sound like something that we could do, Dylan?
Yep, I'll happily write that down now.
Alrighty.
A, B, C, E, F, G. Yep.
Alrighty. So
and I'll just start.
Obviously, we have
saying them out.
10 possible numbers here. Right. And, okay, so only 5 squads. Meanwhile, if you want to rearrange any of these squads, now would be the time. Right now,
Oh, no, I'm happy like that.
Okay, cool. The map is pretty straightforward. Okay, the Americans are going to be coming in from the south. There are 7 objectives on the table. Okay, again, the American Marines are trying to control the countryside. Obviously, this is very rugged terrain. We have what I'm calling Heartbreak Ridge, pretty much dominating the entire table, extending from southwest to northeast. 2 landing zones that they're going to want to take, so that maybe the air cav feels like joining the war, doing something for a living. So we got 2 LZs that we're trying to take, a bunch of road junctions and buildings, this little bridge, and the main road extending north off the table for deeper toward either the DMZ or the Laotian border. So this is the extreme northwestern corner of South Vietnam. Laos is probably right here off of the western edge of the map somewhere, and North Vietnam itself might be somewhere shortly off of the north edge of the board. Everything else is to the south and the east. We've got Khe Sanh probably somewhere off to the southeast, and all the other big artillery fire bases that the Marine Corps and also the Army had set up along the DMZ. Again, Camp Carroll, the Rock Pile, Camp Evans. There's a couple others whose names are escaping me at the moment. Con Tien is up there, I know that. Pretty much this band of defense between the Quang Tri River and the DMZ. So, if you've got your A through B units assigned to squads 1 through 10, of course, only squads 1 through 5 are real. You want to go ahead and set up your tokens that either could or might not, I should say either do or don't, correspond to real live NVA units. And for anyone who might be new to our stream, I'm not going to know what's actually in these units until I blunder into them, until I run across them, or until I make a spotting check. NVA units can set up anywhere on the table. The Americans are coming in from the south. The NVAs have 17 fire teams. The Americans have 14. Some of the Marines are elite, some of them are not. So I pretty much doubled my Marine Army this morning. I kind of gave them a little bit of a facelift as well, some enhanced graphics and so on. Super fast. We have, just so you know what you're up against, a smaller force, but this is Marine Corps, man. These guys do not play around when it comes to firepower. 2 elite squads, an elite command team, and then 1 group of cherries, so to speak. These guys, you'll notice, do not have the E here and there, up here in the upper right-hand corner, so they're not elite. These guys are elite, and of course the corpsmen are not elite. Some of the officers are elite, some of the officers are not elite. There is also,
ooh,
you know this, 1 M48A3 patent on the table. And there is also a lot of Marine artillery. What you'll notice the Marines don't have are helicopters. You don't see a whole lot of Marine Hueys in Vietnam. That wasn't really a thing. Maybe later on in the 70s they started using them a little. Until then they used C-46s, the Seahorse, sometimes known as the Jolly Green Giant, nickname or whatever. Whatever. You've got different kinds of helicopters. It's the kind of helicopter you see in Full Metal Jacket. This is big, gigantic, disastrous looking thing. The Marines weren't really into helicopters in these days. They would grow into them later, but at least in Vietnam right now, they have geographically one of the smaller battlefields to try and control. They're all about controlling the roads through artillery fire bases. They can support each other with a lot of artillery and tanks. The only real air support that they have are Marine Corps fighter bomber squadrons out of Da Nang. And if any Navy guys feel like helping us out Dixie Station. But that's usually too far south. Meanwhile, Yankee Station further north in the Gulf of Tonkin is too busy bombing North Vietnam. So the Marines really didn't have that much air power until things got really serious at Quezon. And then, of course, they have the heaviest use of tactical air power in the history of warfare. But anyway, long story short, you don't see a lot of Marine air power here. What you do see is a lot of artillery and at least one tank is the American force. 5 victory points for every whatchamacallit that is controlled at the end of the game. Again, there are 7 on the table. I get 5 for everyone I control. You get 5 for everyone you control. And after that, the usual casualties, captures, POWs, unsecured casualties, evacuated casualties, the usual victory points apply after that. So for now, if you want to set up your 10 either squads or non-squads.
Okay. Let me just have a look here. Okay, so I'll put C on G7.
C
So
on
G7.
G7. Okay, everyone, C was the first one he reached for, so I know that's a real squad. Actually, I have no idea. He probably just reached for a fake. I don't know.
I just want to indemnify Jim and I. We do not endorse that drinking game at all. Okay.
Oh, don't. Hey, from what I hear, there's already, if you go to Zazzle.com, there's going to be shot glasses with that slogan on it. So
Oh, no.
keep an eye out for that. It's now official. There's going to be there's going to be shot glasses coming out. Chris, Walkabout Games has joined us. Thanks very much. Yeah, I literally
awesome.
didn't even notice that I said it because science teacher. Just bear with me. I'm gonna break myself with that habit. You guys just keep embarrassing me with it. And you know what I'm gonna do? I am going to now that we're actually setting up and we're actually gaming in earnest. If you guys would give me 2 seconds. Alright, so hopefully that will show the full screen without the borders. I mean, the borders are great for the stream beginning while we're having small talk and getting started, but hopefully that border area will be going away shortly. Okay, if you want to go ahead and continue setting up.
Yep, so I'll put counter D on D4.
Delta in Delta 4. Got it? That's not an objective X, that's
No.
probably a real one. Dun-dun.
Counter F on
What? Okay, go ahead.
L6. FL6.
Got it?
I'll just tick off the one. A on I9.
Okay.
B on C7.
B on C7. That shot glass is already in the store, Chris? Oh my god. Oh no. I'm gonna kill all of you, just so you know that. Okay, next one.
E on F6.
Foxtrot 6 is there. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit just so you can see the whole map. Actually, it's still not the whole map exactly, but okay, that's pretty close. All right, you got 4 left.
G on M4. Oh, sorry, M5.
Mike 5. Out in the open, nice.
H on M7. Oh, sorry, M
H on Mike
8,
7.
8, sorry. On Mike 8, sorry.
Mike 8 down there in the brush. Got it.
There we
Okay.
go. I on C10.
India on Charlie 10.
Oh, sorry, not C10, sorry,
C11.
Q10. Sorry,
Q10.
the graphic.
No worries. Q10's over here. Gotcha. Oh, he's gonna bother my flank. I see how it's going.
And then J on J7.
J on Juliet 7. Okay, cool. All right, that is everybody set up. Cool. So we got 10 NVA potential NVA positions charted out on the map. Hopefully this works. This is an experiment. I've never done this before. Played with blind or masked counters with the opponent online using the masked counter. So we're gonna see if this works out. All right, this computer is cool as a cucumber, but that fan is still going. I don't know what the hell. Whatever. As long as it's cool. All right. Save the map. Don't crash. Don't crash. Don't crash. Tuffy ears, oorah, that is correct. That is oorah, that is not hooah. They're two very, very different things. If you want to talk about hooah, talk to Gianna. If you want to talk about oorah, talk to me. Awesome, cool. Apparently, SitRep Podcast says everything is perfect. Would that be the ex-Marine Jim? Yes, indeed. I'm trying to keep up with the chat here, guys. Sorry here. Again, I'm trying to run the chat. I'm trying to set up the table. I'm trying to talk with both Damon and Dylan here. So if I miss something in the chat, just, yell at me again, and I will see it the second time. With my apologies. Alrighty. So it is set up. So, okay, we're going to copy the tab over and start on turn 1. The Americans obviously are going to, being on the offensive, are going to move first. So, turn 1. Going by the turn sequence, turn 1, command phase. I'm not even on the table yet, so what the hell. Direct fire phase, again, not even on the table yet. Movement phase, here we go. Time for movement.
Oh, shit.
Okay, do me a favor, let me know what's in number A.
Number A is number 3.
Oh no! So, number A is gone. And that is force number 3. We have found some real NVA.
Unfortunately, no RPGs.
Yep. I was half afraid of that. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to have to see what happens there. Okay. Alright, Mr. Waterman, that's Captain Waterman, I'm pretty sure automatically has G spotted. G being in the open, and we're on the same elevation. The trees between us are all on lower elevations.
Yep, that's right. So G is number 2.
G is number 2. Awesome. I haven't found any dummies yet. Oh no. Unfortunately, this is after my attack phase, so I can't actually shoot anything yet. I don't think tanks are allowed to overrun in buildings. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to. At least that's the rule in Panzer Leader. Pretty positive that's also the rule in Valor and Victory. So I could assault that hex, but I don't know if I want to pay that butcher's bill. That is going to be one hell of a butcher's bill. If I just set up another couple squads and just kick the door down and rush in there, that, good God, that would get nasty. In a big hurry.
That'd be 5 casualty points just for assaulting it, wouldn't it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 for the building and 4 for your infantry units. That's if it succeeded. That's if it succeeded. Alrighty. Oh, one thing I am going to have to remind myself, and if I ever forget this, guys, please ping me.
Oh yes, booby trap.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Marines just in these huge globs. Okay, first, hey, Marines organized in 13-man teams, 13-man squads. Army usually is in a 9-man squad. One thing about Marines, whether you're in Vietnam or you're in a bar fight, we travel in packs. You are never fighting just one Marine. Okay, so first, 2d6 for that patent. That patent used 1, 2, 3, 4, and then turn, so he used less than half of his movement. Therefore, he gets to use the assault movement rule. He only hits a landmine on a 12. He does not. Next, 1, 2, 3, that whole squad used only half of its movement. He only hit, or that whole platoon, whatever. There in India 11, used 3 movement points. So that's less than half movement. When you're with an officer, it's 6. When you're not with an officer, it's 4. You guys have +1 to all your movement because you're NVA. So no booby trap for that squad there in India 11, or that understrength platoon, I should say. Captain Waterman's group over there in Mike 12. Oops, trying to roll it in the box, dude. 10, close. Two to move through woods, and then 1 to move into the open. Which, you know what? I'm not going to do that.
You don't want to sit in the open?
Nope. But I still moved, and I moved at less than half my movement. So, Lieutenant Mesa's squad. I keep calling them squads. These are like baby platoons. Oh man, almost snake eyes. Don't waste all your good rolls on booby trap checks. And last but not least is Lieutenant Bergman. Okay, Bergman. You know what, you might rush him, but you know what? I almost hope you do. I got a tank sitting right there. Bergman had to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He had to use his full movement. So I'm going to roll for booby traps on Mr. Bergman now. 6, he's okay. So the faster you move, guys, the more risk you are at hitting a booby trap. Okay, so that, unfortunately, is my movement. Now we do your wait a minute.
Yep, defensive 5.
Yeah. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this unit came in F12, and so, before we officially go to defensive fire, I'm amending my movement a little bit. F12,
Yep.
F11, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going into brush and I'm going uphill. 5, 6, going into more brush. He made his booby trap check.
Yep.
Check. He's staying here for now. Oh man, that doesn't help me though. I was trying to hide behind that brush. Okay, that's my movement. I can't change this guy because he's already spotted somebody. That's already had a game effect. And I can't change the tank, and I don't want to change the tank.
Yep.
Alright, everybody,
That's
that's my movement. I don't know how many people have targets. You send the tank out in front. The tank's the most resilient unit. He bumps into something. He lets me know if there was something real in there. And the infantry are now making a very cagey, very cautious approach. Trying to use terrain to screen their movement to kind of rush up to the not to rush up. That's the whole point where I'm not rushing. Trying to creep up to a firing position on some of these suspected NVA positions. Okay, so that's the end of my movement now, finalized. Over to your defensive fire.
Okay. I don't imagine I have anything to hurt that tank, and everything else looks like it's out of range.
There is close assault. I'd have to look up the rules on how that happens. You can close assault the tank that you're next to. It's bloody as shit. And if you do, it does count as a unit because there is a casualty marker in there. But then you're also in H9, you're in the open.
Yeah, I won't close assault the tank.
Oh, also, I'm sorry, you can't do that in defensive fire anyway. You do that during your turn.
No, that'd be in the end phase. Yep.
All right.
So no, all the Marines are. Well, actually, no, I don't think that I-9 would have line of sight on M12, would it? Because there's too many hills and terrain in the way.
Actually, because I'm on a hill, you do have line of sight.
Okay.
Yeah, that's yeah.
So range
So you're on level 2. There's a huge ridge that kind of goes from southwest to northeast. Okay, and that ridge has further hills here in the corners, and what we're fighting over here is kind of a saddle. And then on either side of the saddle are some more small hills here and here, and then of course 3 more hills here. There's a lot of elevation. This is the northern part of Vietnam, a very, very choppy ground. He's on elevation level 2. You're on elevation level 1. All the intervening trees are on elevation 0. So you shoot straight across that valley over top of all this brush. And yeah, again, number one, I'm on level 3, and I'm undercover. I can see almost the entire board. Unfortunately, almost the entire board can see me. I do get bonuses for those woods, though.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I've got was it 2 half squads and a full squad in there?
Alrighty. We have, and also a PKM. So we got 13,
Oh, nice.
22, and 2 for the officer, 25.
25.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, nothing. These are NVA. These aren't VC. These guys are an actual army. 10, 10,
Yeah, you're at
13.
25.
Okay, so I'm just double checking the math. 19 and 5 is 24. Sorry, but I don't think it makes a difference.
Oh yeah, so yeah, 19 and 4 and 5. So
Cool. So let's head over to Mr. Chart. Are you declaring that you're going to take a shot with all your units in there?
yep, I'll take a shot
Alright,
with all the
cool.
units.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're definitely in range. Okay, you are on the blue column. You have to
Nice.
subtract. You get to subtract 1 for your officer. You have to add 2 for my woods.
Okay, so I'm plus
it's
1.
a net plus 1.
Yeah, and 2d6. A 7 plus 1 goes to 8.
8. That is 2 casualty points. Oh no! Pin and pin. 2 half squads pinned. It counts for my 2 casualty points. All right.
Cool. Cool. That's all the shooting, I believe.
All right. Unless you want to reveal any of your other positions by opening fire at me. Actually,
No, I think I'll hold fire.
Technically, he has line of sight, but I doubt he has range unless he's that douche. Delta, that is. And I doubt you want to fire that anyway.
No, I don't think he has range. No.
The only unit that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that would have that would be the douche. So anyway.
Yep.
Okay, cool. That will be the end of defensive fire phase. Yeah, if I seem a little aggressive today, Dylan, I apologize in advance. I played the Poles yesterday against the Germans, and I got the crap kicked out of me in 1939 Poland. Yavasa kind of surprised me. He's like, I want to play the Germans. I'm like, dude, you're a guy from Poland. We're doing the 80th anniversary of the invasion of Poland. He says he wants to play the Germans. I said, okay, good on you. Now I'm like, I wish I didn't give the Germans 2 artillery batteries. And then he rolled like 4 1s in a row. I was like, oh.
Oh, so you've set the Germans up for yourself to play all nice and killy and
well, I didn't expect him. I didn't expect him to roll like 5 1s in a row. I mean, he rolled 2 blind artillery barrages. He doesn't even know my tanks are in that tree line officially, and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna do a blind artillery barrage." Roll to see if it scatters. Doesn't scatter. Roll to see if the other one scatters. Doesn't scatter. Okay, they both hit. Half for armored targets. Now, you remember how Pen's leader works. It's low rolls better, a lot
Yep.
like this game. 1, 1, 3, 1. The entire heart of my Polish tank battalion is torn out by German artillery. Then he close assaults me immediately afterwards with like a reinforced company of grenadiers. So he had it set up right. Full credit on him. He also just rolled like a fiend. And yeah, I lost that game by like the end of turn 2. I was like, oh boy, here we go. It's gonna
I'll have to
be
go and watch that stream.
it's gonna be a long day. We didn't stream it because it was yesterday.
Okay. Yeah.
But I did record pieces of it here in OBS, so I'm hoping to splice it together and put it up on YouTube.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I definitely will. I definitely do want to do that. Jim sounded very frustrated. Oh no, I hope I didn't sound too bitchy, but yeah, Panzer Leader is like a 7-hour game, and by the end of turn 2, if you are just getting curb stomped, and you spend the next 5 hours just picking up your teeth off the pavement, yeah, hopefully Novus Templar I didn't sound too, too disappointed, but I was getting a little disappointed. I was just like, oh my god, can I catch a break? I think I blew up 2 German tanks, 1 Mark 1 platoon, 1 Mark 2 platoon, and that was about it. I think I maybe blew up some trucks or something. It was an absolute rout. It wasn't even like one of those games that's fun to lose. You're just getting the shit kicked out of you for 5 hours. But that's okay. I hope to return the favor. Okay, so now we are on American assault and move phase. Epic.
Yes.
See, now here is where I got a little cagey with the turn
Yep.
sequence. You run up to where you think the enemy's going to be, and then you use the assault movement phase to belly crawl in there. Now we're after his defensive fire phase. He's still going to get to clobber me in his turn, but you kind of save yourself one entire one entire fire phase by not rushing right up to where the enemy can see you and then hitting the deck, rushing up to behind where the enemy can see you, drop on your belly, and then elbow crawl the rest of the way to the target. That tank is pretty much going to sit where it is for now.
Yep.
Actually,
For those who don't know, when Jim uses the assault move, he doesn't have to do a mine check either. So
oh right, because I'm literally moving one
doesn't have to do
hex.
it. Yep.
Am I allowed to do that? Assault movement? I think I have to either. I'm just gonna leave him where he is. Ugh. If he does decide to close assault, he's walking into a pile of opportunity fire.
It's a lot of Marines.
Yep. Though I just realized I put my cherries out in front. I probably shouldn't have done that. That's okay. Bergman, this is your big chance. All these officers are named after guys I actually served with back in the day. I hope they never watch this
cool.
stream. If they ever watch this stream and they see me getting them killed, they're going to be like, dude, that was fucked up, man. Why'd you put me out in front like that, man? I bought you beer that one time. What are you doing? All right. I don't want to hear them complain because I promoted them all to lieutenants. So, spoiler alert, none of us were officers. Okay, so that's going to be it for the assault and movement phase because he's sitting put. What I'm going to do is the after action phase. I am going to... Okay, cool. I was well behaved. Thanks very much. I do appreciate it. I was, in full disclosure, starting to get a little irate, but I was trying to keep it in check. Not irate at Yavasa by any stretch of the imagination. He did that assault. It was a masterpiece of an assault. Even if he didn't roll well, it would have been a hell of a punch, but I could have gotten reinforcements in there and could have at least made a battle out of it. But when your opponent does everything perfectly, and then he rolls like 5 ones in a row, forget about it. The game just implodes right there. So anyway, okay, so now Mr. Waterman is not pinned. He's a -2 officer, and we have 2 elite half squads in there. I'm going to try and rally them. So the normal rally check is a 6. It goes up to a 7 because they're elite. It goes up to a 9 because I get to add 2 to the die roll. I should say add 2 to my target because of the -2 officer. So, yeah, these Marines don't stay pinned for long. 9 or less. Snake Eyes.
Oh.
Jesus, he doesn't. He's actually like irate now. He's like, "How dare you shoot at me? Are you kidding me?" 7. He also rallies.
He's ready to pick that tube up and go smash them up with it.
Yep. So the American Marines are just like, "You believe that guy just shot at us? Hold my beer. This is going to get ugly from here." All right, and that's going to conclude the American turn. Over to NVA turn, starting off with command phase. Any squads you want to split up or combine?
Yep, I'll split up one of the squads in I-9, in the hooch there.
1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think you can.
Oh, that's right, 4 plus.
Yep,
okay, yeah,
right
that's
now
right.
You're 4 infantry units in that hex. It's a max stack.
In that case, I won't, no.
Okay. We go then to fire phase for the NVA.
Okay.
Obviously you don't have to tell me, but if you do any of that in your squads that are still hidden, just like jot it down, make a note of it, or something on your scratch pad or something.
Okay, yep.
Cool. Obviously, guys, when you game on the web, you have to call in tactical nuke on turn 3. Yeah, I heard that. What was I going to say? Uh-oh. The squad just go dark? Cool. Rasmus is here. Hello, sir.
Hey, Rasmus.
All right, so, we go to direct fire for the NVA.
Okay, so the only direct fire I have is I-9 into M12.
I-9 into M12. Oh, no.
Hooch back into the mortar team.
Oh, this one again? Okay, cool.
Yep.
These guys are now visible. They're just undercover.
Yep.
Okay.
They're just in the cover there.
Okay, well, we've already figured that one out. You're on the blue column, and you have to add 1 to the die roll.
Okay. 4 plus 1 is 5.
5. That's 5 casualty points. That's not good. That is not good.
And basically you just hit them with an airstrike, so I imagine it's...
Well, the firepower in Vietnam, I've talked about this a couple times, so I won't bore the whole stream with it again. I did take apart the math, so to speak, from Valor and Victory, the World War II edition, and then like run the clock forward, so to speak. So there's going to be 3 casualties. 4, 5. And that's going to be a casualty in that hex. No. First American casualties down. Okay, that ain't good. And so we kind of ran it forward or whatever, as far as like, okay, everyone now carries an automatic weapon, everyone now carries 5.56 ammunition, everyone does, and so that's how we wound up with these numbers. And it's scary. There's a lot of firepower in these battles. Okay, so all right, if that was it for your direct fire, we now go to, I think, your movement.
Yep, movement phase.
Movement. All right, cool.
Okay.
Let me zoom out so we can see the whole table. The only unit that can't move is
the
the one.
Just a little bit, Jim.
Okay. The only unit that can't fire is the one that just. That can't move is the one that just fired.
Yep. You scroll down just a little bit, Jim, just so I can see what's in the.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
In the NBA thing. Okay. Oh, awesome. That's cool. So I'll move counter I.
Okay.
Which is in Q10. I'll go P9 into O9. Just sitting over there.
Cool. Nobody in Mike 12 was unpinned. So I did not see you when you crossed P9.
Oh, awesome. M8, counter number H.
Yep.
Is going to go into air 9, 10. It's just going to run into M11.
I was afraid of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a lot of opportunity fire.
Actually, into N11, sorry.
Oh, N11.
That corner. Yep. Oh no, that's I just changed my in there. Yeah, N11. So M11 to N11.
1, 2.
One.
Wait, hold on. Started off in M8. Cool.
Yep.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if we can do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, yes, you can.
Yep. Okay.
Barely. All right, and these
They
guys
know.
can see you.
Oh
These
yeah, he can be
guys
spotted.
can
Yeah.
see. Okay, cool. So what's letter H?
H is number 5.
I was afraid of that. Oh no. Okay.
What's counter B? Okay. Okay. Counter E is going to move into E6. Sorry, E7. E7. So E into E7.
Got it.
Um, Counter, and then B is going to go D7, E8, F8, G8.
Sorry.
Counter B, sorry.
What letter was that?
And C7 is going to go to
Okay.
D7, E8, and then end up in G8.
Got it.
And that's the end of my movement. Oh, sorry, I've still got a massive squad sitting right up on the hill in the open.
Yep.
M5 will go. What's that? 1, 2, 3. They'll jump down into N6. So should be able to get to N6.
N6. Oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah. And they'll just sit there.
Oh boy.
Okay, so can you see any of those tokens?
The ones that are blind or the ones that are still hidden. It depends on what I shoot at in my defensive fire. Actually,
Okay.
this one, no. That one I can make a roll. Actually, no, I'm not within 6. No, 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 no. Screened by trees and hooches. I can make a roll to see this guy, but only if I shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, no. But I'm not going to be doing any of that shooting. I'm going to be taking a shitload of opportunity fire.
Yep.
Shitload of opportunity fire. All right. Which is not good for me because it kind of breaks up my assault I was hoping to be doing shortly. But no worries. I have to save my men, my captain. Which I don't think I'm going to do, but I can at least make you pay for it. It's going to be 3 unsecured casualties. Alright, cool. Let me see if I can break up that assault. Good news for me is you're in the open. And all these units do have line of sight. However, not all these units are in range. So the tank, first of all, is in range. I have 20 and 6. 1, 2, 3.
I would hope so.
Yeah, the tank. Well, the tank also has machine guns. The machine gun has a range of. The region has a range of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the tank. Yeah, the tank has range for everything. The infantry, however, does not. The infantry fires mostly 5.56 millimeter. So if we look at the infantry counter, this is actually interesting. This is a rule that's never really come up yet. If anyone's noticed, the American range counter has an asterisk after it. So what this basically means is he can fire half of his strength out to +2 range. So one of the reasons these unit values are so high is every half squad is basically a fire team. Okay, and a Marine Corps or American Army fire team is a rifleman, a fire team leader, a machine gunner, and a machine gunner assistant, or sometimes they call it an A gunner, for automatic gunner. So there's an M60 in every single one of these half squads. There's two M60s in every single one of these. Notice that there's also a star after the NVA units. The NVAs have a higher range because they all fire 7.62 millimeter com block ammunition. But there's also an RPK or an RPD in every fire team. Is the long and short of that. However, because of the range, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, only my long story short. Only hello, take a shot. Um, only my machine guns can reach you. None of my rifles can. So this squad, 6, nothing can reach because there's no. First of all, it should be a 5, not a 6. But there's no asterisk after his thing. Obviously, the medic can't do anything. He's worth 3. He's worth 6. The blooper obviously can't hit anything. And he is worth 3 for the M60. That's an additional M60 on top of the M60 that's already baked into the squads. So I have 3 here, 6 here, that's 9.
So 12.
Yeah. -1 for the officer. You are in the open in opportunity fire.
Yep.
That is only a -1 because you're not point blank. Okay. So it's a grand total of 12 minus 2. I have to break up this assault, guys. I have to break up this assault. This is no shit. Go time. All right, Marines, do it. Don't embarrass me. All right,
12.
that is, man. Don't jinx me, dude. After my game yesterday, don't ask Novus Templar. That is a modified 4. That is 5 casualty points so far.
5 casualty points. Okay, so that will be the full squad, I believe. I'll just take it right off the table.
Splat. No casualty marker on there. NBA don't care about casualties, and dead bodies don't do me any good. I have to take prisoners in an assault, but for now we just take them off the table. All right, that's a start. Next, this guy. Again, 6, 3 more. That's 9. I think it's the same deal. Yeah, it's the same deal.
Same
Again with -1. Of course, any unit that fires opportunity fire cannot use defensive fire, which is really going to be bad because I was hoping to put defensive fire into this hooch before he blasts at me or assaults my tank or something. All right, so again, 12. Oops, where's the stupid chart? Okay, again, 12 minus 2. Webcam, please. All right, that is another 6, which becomes another 4. Same roll.
Is it -2 or -1?
It is -1 for in the open and opportunity fire, and -1 for the officer. There's another -1 officer in there.
So it's at 4 casualty points?
It's another. The roll was 4. I think it's 5 casualty points. The roll is 4.
Okay, 5 casualty points.
It's the exact. It's the exact same thing as happened last time.
Yep. So that will be the whole thing gone.
Kill 2, and pin.
Oh yeah, I could do that. Yep. They wouldn't be able to assault, and he'll lose the PKM.
And that is these 2 stacks having taken their opportunity fire. That's going to be the end of my opportunity fire because nothing else of yours is moving within my line of sight. We now go to my defensive fire, and the difference there is I don't get some of the same bonuses. Alright, so these guys obviously can't take defensive fire, they just took opportunity fire. The only defensive fire I have is going to be the patent tank fires point blank into this hooch. Oh no. Alright. 26. I hope I didn't make this game too strong. I might suddenly lose my artillery. My artillery might suddenly get re-vectored someplace else. 26. Okay, we'll see what I roll here. 26, I have to add 2 to the roll because of buildings. I do not get the -2 penalty. I'm sorry, I do not get the -2 bonus for point blank opportunity fire because it's not opportunity fire, it's defensive fire. Your guys are not moving out of the hooch toward me, so I don't get that bonus. In fact, I get a penalty
Yep.
for shooting into a building. So I have to add 2 to this roll, 26. All right, come on. I'm hoping for a 2.
You're getting hopeful.
Yeah, I actually am. All right, so come on, Mr. Oh, close.
Oh,
Close. That tank. You know what just happened? I just fired a paint shell into that building, like Kelly's Heroes. Oddball.
That's paint.
You've got paint in the gun again. Oh, loader. All right, so that 2 becomes to 13. No effect. I can't believe I just fired an HE shell straight into that building at point blank range. Dude, the gun barrel's practically pointing into the window. And everyone in there is like, oh no, here we go. And then the shell goes right through and explodes out here somewhere. I was like, whew. All right, cool. After what happened down here, I don't feel bad. Okay. That is it for American defensive fire, because I don't think anybody else... Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... That's out of range for a spotting check. Took all their fire, They're all pinned. Okay, that's it for my defensive fire. We now go to your advance and assault phase. So everything that's not pinned right now can move 1 hex or assault me if they are adjacent.
Alright, so they're pinned. I'll go N6 to N7, which is the sort of...
November 6th, November 7th, cool. And this 1 hex is, irrelevant to any kind of terrain, slow down modifiers, uphill, downhill, trees, walls, whatever, buildings. You just get to move 1 hex.
And everyone else is in a pretty good position, so I'll leave them where they are.
Alrighty. Awesome. Next. Okay, so if that's it for your advance and movement phase, your advance and assault phase, we now go into your after action phase, which is to rally your pinned units. You have a chance to unpin your officer. He unpins on a 6 or less, 2d6.
A 5.
He unpins. Epic. What happened to my team, man? Holy shit.
He didn't actually get pinned, he just tripped over and now he's looking around like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah. My artillery might suddenly be reprioritized to another battlefield somewhere. We'll see. We'll see if I keep rolling crappy with these tanks. I don't know. Again, these games, Panzer Leader, Valiant Victory, they don't come with point systems, guys. So, balancing a game is actually a little tough. And lately, I have been really erring on the side of caution for a while. Okay, so we now begin turn 2. What I mean by erring on the side of caution is making everybody a little too weak. Okay. At least my side. But, if you're teaching somebody a game, you don't want to, beat
Just
them
curb
up.
stomp them straight away.
That's the... You don't be surprised when, nobody wants to play the game with you again. Okay, so beginning of American turn 2. First thing that happens, all pinned units automatically rally.
Uh-oh.
That's for either side. Alright. Next we go to direct fire. Well, actually, next we go into command phase. I'm going to hold off on this artillery. I don't want to need it yet.
Yep.
Otherwise, I would just call in a massive artillery barrage on that hooch. I already got artillery outside the hooch. I'm hoping I don't. Hopefully, you learn how to shoot.
The problem is getting the problem is just getting it inside the hooch.
Getting the paint out of the breach and getting an actual HE shell in there, or a beehive or something cool. Okay. You'll notice that pattern has the same values as the Centurion, an E and a 20. That's because that Centurion, I think,
Yep.
was a little underpowered. That Centurion has a 105. That Patton has a 90 millimeter. So an E, a 17 pounder from World War II, an actual Firefly, has an E14. So an American 90 millimeter and a British 17 pounder had roughly the same penetration power, at least in World War II. Especially since one of the reasons the American 90 millimeter was, you'd think the 90 millimeter would be a bigger gun, more armor-piercing power than a 17 pounder. The reason it didn't is they didn't have, in World War II, they didn't have the right kind of ammunition. They didn't have a lot of high explosive ammunition. That's exactly what's happening here in Vietnam. These Pattons are equipped
Yep.
to fight infantry and not tanks. So I thought it was a perfect match. However, what is higher is the 20, the anti-infantry value. Again, it's a 90 millimeter gun, flechette rounds, beehive rounds, God knows what else, HE frag, Willie Pete maybe. Yeah, of course, and also I corrected the earlier mistake I made with the Centurion. I included the 50 cal on the roof. That's the 6 up here.
Yep.
Speaking of which, also I have weaker armor. I have a D on both front and back, not an E and a D. And I do have better movement. Pattons are nothing if not kind of fast. So, that 26 is going into that hooch again. One more time, I have to add 12 to the results. I'm sorry, I have to add 2 to the results.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, so I have to add 2 to that result. What I really wind up with is a 5. A 5 on that is 5 casualty points.
Okay, let's pay for this. It's nice playing the Viet Cong because I'm perfectly happy to just kill people.
Yep.
So I'll just take out the full squad.
Whoop, they're gone. Alright.
It's like you definitely got that nailed down when you designed the game. The whole the difference between playing both sides. Okay. If that was an American thing, that'd be really annoying. And
Well,
like, I gotta.
in Valor and Victory, in Valor and Victory, like the base game that you download, Germans versus Americans, British versus whatever, there's no such thing as a casualty marker. It's old school wargaming, eliminated enemy units, you just take them off the table. We try to avoid that a little bit in Valor and Victory because we want that asymmetrical feel. Erasmus, you're watching this whole stream on the phone. Hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. Again, I don't know what is up with this computer fan, but whatever. Okay. I'll worry about that later. I know it's not going to overheat because I have a desk fan actually blowing underneath it as well, so it feels cool, but that processor is still really hot. So who knows? I'll figure it out later. Alright, that's him taking his direct fire. My question is, how much more direct fire do I want to put in there before I assault? If I fire with everything, I won't be able to assault with anything. So I have to choose between aggression and... caution here. I'm not going to fire with him because he's got other plans. And I also have to get that casualty off the table. Oh no. Alright, let me not hold up the game any longer. Okay, this squad is now going to go ahead and 12 and 6. This guy is in range now. 12 and 6 is 18, plus 7 is 25, 27 with Bergman, minus 1, plus 2 for the building, 27 plus 1.
Oh, just shy.
Getting shot with an American Marine Corps rifle squad is like being hit by an airstrike. That's how you know you're playing Valor and Victory. Alrighty. And an 8, which becomes a modified 9. That's only one more casualty point.
Okay, I'll pin the officer.
Interesting.
Keep that firepower up.
Yeah, he's keeping that machine gun going. is that? Pierce. This guy right here, all Marine Corps wrestler in 2 weight classes. A huge gamer back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Huge D&D gamer, you name it, he would play it. And when he wasn't wargaming and he wasn't just doing usual Marine Corps stuff, he was up at 8th and I, all Marine Corps wrestler, all Marine Corps wrestling team.
Oh, cool.
Absolute beast of a man. Last I heard, he was a cop somewhere down by where I live. You do not want to mess with him. An absolute monster. But like the classic gentle giant, nicest guy. But God save you if you ever actually managed to piss him off. Getting him pissed off was like one of Hercules' feats, but if you managed it, it would be the last thing you ever did. Alrighty, now we are looking at pretty much the same. Oh no, not quite the same thing. Yeah, blooper, same basic deal. 27.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Into the building, -1, +2. I'm gonna be cautious. I've already lost 1 casualty down here, and I still have to evacuate them. So, yeah, I don't want to assault the building. Even if I assault the building and win, I occupy the building. You've got 3 enemy units right behind it that tank can't see. So there's no fire support. I know a lot of that stuff is going to be fake because you've only got 2 units left, and one of them's a douche that isn't going very fast. So really, there's only 1 back there. But you know what? I don't want to get counter assaulted and then lose a whole stack.
Yep.
You cannot do that in this game. All right. So again, +1 to this. That is an 8 becomes 9, the exact same thing.
Okay. So I'll pin one of the half squads.
Alrighty. I am trading time for security. We will assume that the unpinned guy still has the PK. Okay. Other direct fire for the Americans. You know what I should have done? I should have dropped that mortar in here first. Because we're already adjacent, I can do direct fire and assault in the same turn. So, Mr. Mortar Team here cannot fire his rifle because he's only a half squad, and he is using an H-class support weapon. H is heavy. So all these other support weapons that we've been using, on a more usual basis with an L, you can use your regular fire rating plus the rating from the weapon if it's L for light.
Yep.
A heavy squad, or I should say a full squad, can also do that with an H. A full squad, like if the full squad was carrying this mortar, he can fire his 12 and the 6. But this is only like a little mortar crew, so it's only like 4 guys. So it's only going to be, I can't use this 6, but I can use this 6. The difference is this 6 can actually reach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't see him, even though he's spotted, because he's behind brush now. This guy I don't have spot. I have nobody else spotted yet. All right, I'm going to try and throw a mortar shell into that hooch. An onboard mortar shell.
Yep.
So that's going to be basically 6 -2 +2. -2 for officer, +2 for my officer. -2 for your officer. I'm sorry, -2 for my officer, +2 for your buildings. 6 straight out, 2 more casualty points.
Okay, that'll be one of the half squads removed.
All right.
So I'll take the pinned half squad.
I don't know if that's technically legal.
Okay.
You know what? We may have screwed up that fire phase anyway. I think I have to assess all casualty points and then you decide what you're going to do. The rule is like, okay, you can't pin a squad and then kill them while somebody else is okay. You're basically using the game to soak up casualty points. However, where I screwed up turn sequence wise is I think we're supposed to do all fire on a hex until you get a total butcher's bill, and then you. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do it for now. But for YouTube or for other people in the stream, that may not have been technically legal, but it's only because I screwed up a little bit earlier in my fire phase. So no worries. Does that make sense what I just said?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
If you're getting a bunch of fire and you start, I'm going to pin this guy, and then I'm going to kill him. I'm going to pin this guy, and then I'm going to kill him. You're literally getting cheesy. So the rule specifically says you can't do that. But what allows you, or what sort of protects you as the defending player, is I think the attacker has to declare all his casualty points at once, and then you can make your decisions about who do I pin, who do I kill. Because otherwise, like the opposite was unfair to you. Okay, if we go by the strict letter of the law, you're not allowed to to eliminate him. You have to assess 2 casualty points. He has to die. And now you have, I mean, you still lose a squad, but now the remaining squad in there is pinned instead of unpinned. You know what I mean? It's not fair to you to do it the other way. That's why I don't know if the rules specifically require me to do that, but that is definitely the way that we play. Is direct fire on a hex. You don't start flipping counters over until you know the total butcher's bill, which I did not do this time, and so yeah, no worries. We fixed it, but that's not normally how you do it, guys. It's small rules hiccup there, but we're all good. Okay, so that's it for my direct fire. We now go to my movement. Pretty much almost everybody fired. Only guy that can move is this guy, and oh, for crying out loud. I'm trying to select everybody at once. Okay, so they start off here. They have an officer.
Yep.
1, 2. Well, in for a penny, in for a pound. I might as well go ahead and move 6 now.
Yep.
Nope. Oh God, no. All right. I was trying to get cagey with my line of sight there. Never mind. Okay, I have to make a booby trap check for that unit.
Yep.
He did use full movement. Oh, he just hit a booby trap.
Oh.
Boom!
Oh.
That sucks for me, but at the same time, you can tell me I don't have a
Well, we
booby
actually
trap
just need
counter
booby
now?
trap.
Where the hell is booby trap? Am I looking right past it? It's been a while since we've seen a booby trap. Huh. In fact, it's been so long, I don't have the counter saved anymore. Hold on a second, guys. I will fix this in 2 seconds.
The good science teacher says, where are my poofs? No board is complete without them.
Well, there's not a lot of tanks on the table, so... change picture. What I'm looking for right now is my booby traps. Ignore any porn you see, guys. I'm just kidding. There's no porn on here. At least none that you're going to see. Valorant Victory, Shortcut, Valorant Victory, Vietnam. It's always fun opening up your full directory on live stream, like for literally the whole world to see. Okay, yeah, boom, we hit a booby trap. Pow. That is automatic. I'm going to knock down this squad to half a squad.
Ooh.
Splat, and that is a casualty. He just hit either a mine or a tiger trap. Something happened. Fortunately, I have a medic in there. Alright. Anyway, what I was saying before is, it kind of, obviously sucks for me, but at the same time, as a developer or whatever, as an expander, if that's a word, because I didn't design or develop this game, but I am like expanding it to Vietnam. As a Twitch streamer, we haven't had a booby trap in so long.
They're very rare. Yeah.
Especially when you play carefully, which apparently I wasn't. Yeah, because if I had been moving half speed, that would have been okay, that 11. When you're moving at half speed or less, you have to roll a 12. When you're rolling at full speed, or anything over half speed, I should say, a 1 or a 2 will I'm sorry, only a 12 will be a booby trap. I was thinking about just moving into D11 and E11 and then using assault move to get up there. The problem is, if I do that, I still moved 4 hexes. I spent 4 movement points. I'm still over my whatchamacallits. The way around that would have been to break out into the open. But again, I don't know if any of these guys are real. That douche is still out there somewhere. I have a sneaking suspicion he's up there in this hooch. And if I just saunter out here in the open, that douche is going to light me up from half a kilometer away. I had like 3, equally crappy choices there. I thought I could get away with it, and I finally ran out of luck. That's okay. All right, so that's going to be it for my movement phase. We did your. Oh, now we do. I'm sorry. Now we do your direct fire. I'm sorry, your defensive fire.
Okay. Can I reveal hidden units and fire with them, or is it just?
If you have if one of your hidden units has line of sight on one of my units and you want to fire, that's no problem. You just automatically reveal them, and then you go ahead and take
Okay.
your shot.
Well, let's get that douche, and it's exactly where you think it is.
There you go. That Marine Corps military intelligence. I'm not 100% sure who. Oh wait, yeah, you're right. All right, so D is out of here.
I was holding off on that because I thought you'd easily bust through that hooch there and then make your way up the board a little. So I was going to get you later, but
I didn't want to pay the casualties for it, so I'm trying to be. I'm trying to take my time. Okay. Now, who's that douche going to shoot at?
they're going to go for C12.
Okay, yeah, there's definitely line of sight there.
Yep, there is.
I was afraid you were going to shoot at some of these guys. I'm like, there's no line of sight here, dude. But that's cool. You already revealed it, and gotcha.
Yep.
Oh no. So the only unit that can help is really just the douche, because the guy is using the weapon and he can't reach. However, he can add his +2 bonus, +2 from my woods, so it comes out to a wash. As far as penalty, damn it. As far as penalties go.
Yep.
There we go. I'm trying to get the arrow where it's above the map.
Oh, the arrow. Yep.
Yeah, it's a long range shot. We has a range of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He does that with ease. Cool. So 6, a very heavy. That's a douche, by the way. People in the chat. That's that big Rambo gun. Dug, 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 dug. All right. It's a 6 and no modifiers to the roll. Net.
Alrighty. So that's a 6.
A 6 is 2 casualty points. I think I have to kill him. Because I unwisely left him by himself. No, there's a unit and a law.
Ah, the other one's a law.
Oh no. The medic just left. Oh boy. I think I'm going to take that. I think I'm going to take those artillery units after all.
Yeah, you might need it.
Alrighty. Cool. Any other defensive fire?
Yes. From B into your pattern.
From B into the pattern. Okay, that's legal. You have to take 1 off the roll for scraping past this tree hex.
Yep. And B is, of course, number 4.
Alright, everyone's now revealed. The enemy has revealed himself. Oh no. He's in the flank. Well, fortunately, I have terrible armor on front and back. You're not going to brew up my tank. I got bad news for you. That's a Marine Corps tank, and therefore it has 9 million empty beer cans strapped to the sides of the tank for extra armor plating. Okay, you're definitely within range. It's -1 for your officer, +1 for terrain to hit. To hit is, we're down on a different chart here. Anti-tank, it is Guns at 20 hexes or more, onboard mortars.
AT weapon.
It was 8 or less. Yep, it's 8 or less to hit.
Okay.
Hitting's going to be the easy part. It's gonna
3.
Be 3. Boom. That's on 2d6, right?
Yep, 2d6.
Cool, that's a hit.
1 and a 2.
All right. RPG is a C against a D. C against a D. You have to roll a 5 or less on 2d6.
Oh, okay. A bit tricky. A 6.
That is, you failed it by 1. So, kaboom, but no, there you go, Jen. I put a little bit of a poof on. Oh, man. Map, go to the back of the screen, please. There we go. Kind of pinged off the side armor there, but he's okay for now. If you roll exactly on the target number, the tank becomes immobilized. If you beat the target number, the tank is penetrated, immediately removed. It's a destroyed unit. In fact, we replace it with a wreck counter. And for Americans, post World War II or whatever, we replace it with a casualty marker. Because there is a crew of 4 in there.
Yep. Cool.
Only boobies set off booby traps? Thanks. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Toughy Ears. Toughy Ears loves making fun of me. He loves breaking my chops. That's all good. I'm not worried about it.
And let's see, do I have any other opportunity fire at all? I have an officer in N11.
He's worth 2 points.
No idea if he could do anything, but what is it Lloyd said on the weekend? To always shoot everything. So.
That's absolutely not true. I hate that saying.
You shouldn't always do that, no.
However, in this case, I would agree that that's probably true. Because it's not like, you're hidden. Yeah, he is, he's there. I'm not moving. -1, +2 for my woods. It's a 4, add 1 to the die roll.
Okay.
What do you mean 4? I'm sorry, 2. Add 1 to the die roll.
A 5.
A
So it goes
5
to 6.
becomes to 6 as 1 casualty point.
Oh, nice.
That's going to be, yeah, he sprays the AK. Alright.
And that's the end of my turn for defensive fire.
That's it for defensive fire. We now go to American assault and move phase. Well, now I don't really want to assault him anymore, do I? Because it would be 2 versus 2. Like 2 officers just fist fighting out there on the side of that hill. But damn it, I would throw in a grenade first, which means you would throw in a grenade. We can only throw in 1 grenade apiece. I'm not saying we do this, but just how funny it would be.
Yeah.
And then I would get 1 off because my guy goes to the gym more often than your guy does. He gets -2. And so it would be 1 to 1, add 1 to the die roll. It would be 50-50. It would be even money. I am not going to do that because I need that officer alive to do something else. Cool. All right. So no assault phase, assault and movement phase. I want to move anybody around. No. Damn it, he's not going to be able to reach that guy next turn because without an officer, he always has a movement rate of 4. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, hopefully he doesn't hit a damn whatchamacallit again next time. Alright. So that's it for assault and movement phase. We're now going to go to,
The end phase.
yeah. Do I want my tank to move anywhere?
Tank direct fired.
Yeah, but in the assault and movement phase, he gets to move. This is normal
Oh,
movement.
oh
This
yes.
is my,
Okay.
this is my 1 hex of movement afterwards.
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out exactly how this works because units have facings. I don't know if I have to like move. I
I
think
think tanks get a free pivot, don't they?
they get, yeah, but I think it's in the movement phase. Movement phase and assault and
Okay.
movement phase are two very different things. Or advanced and assault phase, I should say. Player A now advances all infantry units 1 hex. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Okay, never mind. That answers that question. Cool. So tanks don't get that move anyway. Alright, that answers that question. Cool, the tank is then sitting there. He's going to stay put. Alright, I'm going to go to my after action phase. Okay, first of all, I do have a corpsman, a Navy corpsman. Marines don't have their own medics. They have to borrow a corpsman from the Navy. So he has
Yep.
the Navy SEAL there, and whatever. He's actually a member of the U.S. Navy. So, but he works the same as a medic. He is a medic. He's in the same hex as a casualty. He automatically evacuates the casualty. So he's safely evacuated. All right. The +2 of this commander, he can apply to either rally this guy or to evacuate that casualty. He's going to go for evacuating the casualty. Now, he's not a medic,
Yep.
which means he has to roll. However, he's elite, so his 6 goes to a 7, and then he gets to add 2 for his command bonus, goes to a 9. He's been to first aid class many times, and he friggin' fails it. Oh my god.
Oh.
Alright, now I'm going to try and rally that guy. Oops, sorry. 9, he fails to rally. What the fuck, Marines? Jesus Christ. Okay. Now I have 2 unsecured casualties on the end of my advance phase. It's time to go for bleed outs. Here's where I'm going to lose the game. First, this guy that Captain Waterman failed to save.
Does that count as unsecured? I thought unsecured
yeah.
was only if you didn't have a unit.
If he just straight out dies, yeah.
I thought that was if you didn't have any units doing anything at all.
If any, it's the way I'm rolling it, or the way I've got the rule written. Again, none of this stuff is official. This is not in regular Valor and Victory. Casualties in
Yep.
general are not in regular Valor and Victory. Is whenever there's a casualty on the table that has not been evacuated, you got to make a roll.
Okay, it has not been okay.
So you have to either
I
get
thought
a
it was
medic.
only one that. I thought it was only one that was on its own without anyone near it. Okay.
And now for this guy down here in Charlie 12. Come on. 3, he's still alive. A 5 or a 6 means he's dead. So they're both still alive. The medic is getting to him, so that clock is ticking. There's some narrative for you. He's literally crawling through the jungle. He's trying to get back to there. If that corpsman hits another booby trap on the way back, there's going to be problems. Meanwhile, this guy, with an NVA officer right out here, he can't rally this fire team that he's with, this mortar crew. He's pumping this guy's chest. He's trying to get that casualty stabilized and, dust it off back to the rear. And so far, he's not able to do that. That wound must be worse than we thought. There's a little bit of drama in that hex as well. The long story short, that's going to conclude the American turn.
Okay.
So now we go over to the NVA command phase.
All right, my command phase. So I will. Do I roll for rallying or instantly rally anything?
Oh, and yeah, at the beginning of your phase, anything that's pinned automatically rallies.
Automatic rally.
Yeah, the roll is at the end of your turn to see if you can.
That's right. See.
So that you don't have to spend the whole next enemy turn pinned down, because that's never fun.
Yep. Alrighty. So that douche.
Yep.
moving with a heavy weapon is just as normal, is it? Or
Moving with a heavy weapon, he can move a total of 2.
2, okay. In that case, he'll sit up in that hooch up there, nice and comfortable. The officer in N11 will move into M11.
Officer in M11 will back up.
And then N7, they're sort of squad back in the trees there.
This, well, I have to do this while you're moving.
Yep. Yep, they've got...
Opportunity fire. The officer.
Awesome.
And he will invest a grenade. Because he is immediately adjacent.
Yep.
So, it is 2... -2, you're in the open. Oh my god. Okay, I only have 2.
It's like -4.
It's a lot of minuses, yeah. Alright, so it is -2 because my -2 officer. It is -2 because you're adjacent in the open in opportunity fire. It's another -1 because of my grenade. So I have to roll only on the very first roll, the first row on that chart, but I get to subtract 5 from my roll. So
nice.
Hopefully I just pop him with my Colt M1911A1. Sergeant Waterman, Captain Waterman. Sergeant Waterman, I invoke your soul. I hope you're doing okay wherever you are. Here he goes. We're going to find out. He subtracts 5 from this. That is a 7, which becomes a 2. That is 5 casualty points.
5.
Yeah,
he shoots him real good.
I basically killed him 5 times over. Splat. He's very dead. And that is his opportunity fire. And that is 1 grenade used up by the Americans.
Yep. Okay.
So your NVA officer is running. I throw the grenade out there. It's landing on the ground. It's rolling around in front of him. Your guy's like trying to dodge the grenade. He gets brained out by the Colt 45, and the body falls on the grenade. Then the grenade goes off. Yeah. Chunky salsa time. Okay.
We didn't even get a grenade. He just grabbed one of the mortar rounds and smacked it.
There you go. He did a Private Ryan with a grenade, or with a 60mm mortar shell. Exact same mortar shell. I don't know how accurate the movie is, but
guys in N7 will end up in N11. I think they can get there.
We're gonna try this again, huh?
Oh yeah, doing it again.
All right. We're going to have a short stream today, folks. Win, lose, or draw, this game is going to be relatively short, hopefully. All right. What did we say? These were 12s again? That's only worth 3 because I can only use machine gun that's in there, not the rifles. 3?
Yep.
6? Hell no, can't help. And 3 is, 12. 3, 6, and 3 more is 12. Subtract 1 more is 12. I cannot use grenades because I'm obviously not adjacent. And what the hell happened? Oh, he's still pointing. The douche is shooting at your guys for some reason. Okay. I told you not to sleep with my wife. Okay. Here we go. Please. I need to break up this assault.
So that's on the 12 row.
12 row and minus...
-2.
We need it, man. We need it. It's not good. An 8 becomes a 6. That is 3 casualty points. That second squad is going to go ahead and do the same thing.
Yep.
Again, I really should give you your total butcher's bill before I decide to... God damn it, man. 9 becomes a 7. That's 2 more. That's 5 casualty points so far.
5 total.
The tank is going to have to fire. The tank didn't have to fire last time. The tank's going to have to fire this time. There goes my defensive fire this phase. Okay, the tank does not get -1 for an officer. He only gets... he's 26. And again, these trees do not help because I'm on high elevation, he's on high elevation. We're shooting over top of the treetops in that valley. Oh boy, 26, but no penalty. Actually, I get a -1 for you being opportunity fire in the open. I do not get -1 for the officer, so only -1
Yep.
off of this. Tank, I'm not kidding this time. This tank has not done
No more
so
paint.
so well. Jesus Christ, 10 becomes an 8. That is another 2. Total of 7 casualty
So
points,
that's
and that I think is all I can do. Pretty sure that's all I can do. 7. Yep, yep, yep. 3, 2, and 2. He's already fired at somebody else. He has no line of sight. The corpsman can't do anything. That's it. That's all I got. So, how do you want to assess your 7 casualty points?
So it'll be a dead full squad and a dead half squad. So I'll be left with 1 half squad.
Whoa! I got optimistic there. Hold on. 1.5 squads. There you go.
Yep.
Toughy years, you're bringing me bad luck in this stream, man. I blame you, Toughy years. This is all your fault. Okay, that's it for my opportunity fire. Any other movement on your part?
No more movement for me now.
Okay, we go to my defensive fire. Unfortunately, most of my guys have not fired opportunity fire. The only ones that have defensive fire is this clown, who doesn't have line of sight on very much. In fact, he doesn't have line of sight on anything. Because this is a tree hex and this is a tree hex, so I can't see the hooches. No, because the intervening terrain is closer to you than to me. Therefore, I cannot see over the trees to shoot the hooch. Because I'm on the next elevation level up, but it's not enough. Okay. So that's it for that. He has no line of sight, so no more defensive fire. We go to your advance and assault phase.
Is it? Yeah, no, because I haven't had a fire phase yet, have I?
Your fire phase actually takes place before your movement phase.
Oh, that's right.
Did we do that out of order?
Yeah, I don't think we did a fire phase.
Okay. Nobody that moved can shoot.
Yeah, the only thing that could shoot would basically just be the RPG. That's all.
Oh, back at the tank again? Okay. Yeah, that's legal. Sure.
So I got an 8.
That is barely a hit. Because you have a +1 officer in there. Remember, it's +1 for the woods, -1 for your officer. You needed an 8 exactly. You barely got a hit. Okay.
Oh, sweet. Okay, and the next one, I can't remember what it is, but it's very low.
It's a 5 or less.
I got a 3.
Oh no! You blew up the tank! That ain't right. That ain't right. Alright, that tank is brewed up. And that is a casualty marker. Bring to front.
Is that an American word or a British word, brewed up?
I think it's British.
Okay. Do the Americans use it though?
I don't know. I just did. I'm an American.
Oh.
Okay, so that now counts as a wreck counter, and I need a casualty.
Sweet.
Not sweet. Okay. Now we go to your advance and assault phase.
Yep. So I will be doing an assault on the mortar team.
Okay, the assault on the mortar team. That is, boom, 1 guy automatically dead, another casualty. Jesus Christ, man. Wait. Oh, that's right. That's the casualty that did not get evacuated. Sorry. Cool.
Yep.
All right. Yep. Now we just see if Sergeant Waterman can hold off the assault, which I seriously doubt. In fact, yeah, I pretty much just lost that whole hex. Oh no. That is 7, and you can use the RPG in there. That is 7-11 versus my 2. Becomes a grand total of... Oh, by the way, that's destroyed. 11 versus 2 is 5-1. The table stops... Oops. The table stops at 4-1.
Earthquake.
Yeah, I fixed it. it's unrealistic for him not to throw a grenade, even though I know it's kind of a pointless thing. Are you throwing
Yep.
in any
And I'll
grenades?
throw one as well.
All
Yeah,
right,
I'll
cool.
throw a grenade as well.
Awesome. You can throw in more than one. You have technically two infantry units in there.
Yeah, I'll
Just
throw
as.
2 grenades.
All
Why
right.
not? Just
Awesome. Yeah, because my officer is technically better than yours. So it's
Yep.
minus 1, 2, 3 to you. That's a bonus. It is plus 1, 2, 3 for me. So it comes out to a wash.
Okay,
You have
cool.
to roll a 10 or less because you outnumbered me so badly.
A 7.
A 7. That is a successful assault. Okay, that was 1 infantry unit plus 2 for woods. That costs you 3 casualty points.
Yep. So that is a dead unit and a pinned officer.
Now, he's pinned. These guys aren't killed or captured yet. But the
Yep.
very next thing that's going to happen is he's going to get a chance to rally. If he breaks that rally check, these 3 guys are now considered unsecured casualties. Very bad news. My one possible, whatever you want to call it, my one possible relief or whatever, my one remedy is it looks like I'm going to table the NVA here, and I'm going to table them on like turn 3, and that means that I have 3 more turns to occupy all the objectives.
Yep.
So I might still get away with this game. We'll see what happens. All right, but we'll worry about that when we come to it. Okay.
And then I'll move the guys from I9, and they're going to take that casualty from the pattern.
Okay. I have already used opportunity fire. Plus, we're in the assault phase now. The only semi-bad news. Number 1, he is now totally unsecured. Because you guys are obviously now pinned. So there's no. An upside down one is a unsecured casualty. A right side up one is a secured casualty. That's worth 4
Yep.
victory points to the enemy. That's worth 8 victory points to the enemy. Okay. The only thing is that now you're in the open.
Yeah, I
So,
think that was a. I think
that was a bit of a
getting
trade there.
they sort of dragged these crewmen out of the tank and screwed them off somewhere.
Okay.
That's the end of my turn.
That is the end of your turn. Well, you have to make a rally check.
And 11, so he's not rallying.
He is not rallying. Holy shit. Holy shit. Can I? 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't make it there anyway. Yeah, they're doomed. I can't get there in 1 turn. 1, 2, 3. I have to go up the hill. 4, 5. You know what I can do? I can kill him with gunfire.
You can just shoot him, yeah.
I can kill him with gunfire. I can get a medic over there. I might be able to save those guys. Rescue mission! Oh, medics. Where are all my medics? I only have 2 medics. Oh no,
He's pretty busy.
Captain Waterman is bleeding out. We gotta get to him. Oh no. Alright, this game just got a little exciting, guys. This game just got a little exciting. Okay, so I'm sorry. I shouldn't stop the stream here. Oh. Marines. I almost don't care if I win now, but if I can get to that hex and save some people, that would be epic as shit.
That's what, 12 guys in that hex?
Technically 9, because one of them was an officer.
Okay, yep.
2
9.
2 half squads and an officer now. Alright. We're beginning American turn 3. Alright, my computer fan is no longer buzzing. It's now just my desk fan, which is keeping it cool. Sweet. Alright, one less thing to worry
Awesome.
about. Now I just have to save my captain. Alright. Can I do it? What? There's no rule against it, but I will absolutely not do it because that would be beyond cheesy. I can call it a mortar strike on that hex and kill him with a mortar strike.
Something tells me Captain Waters would be a tad pissed off if you did
That's
that.
yeah. That is a you know what that is? That's a rule I have to write. You're not American units are not allowed to call in indirect fire missions on their own casualties. It's depressing that I have to write that rule, but okay. So command phase, command phase, command phase, command phase. 1, 2, 3 infantry units in that hex. That means I can take that full squad and split it into 2 elite half squads. It's Corporal Johnson, come on out. Alright. And I'm going to do the same with this group. Although those guys are not elite. So let me make sure that I grab a non-elite half squad. There we go. Copy him twice. And now there is... What else we got? Oh, this squad already got cut in half. Thank you, Mr. Booby Trap. I appreciate that. Right.
Let's work.
Okay. This unit is going to fire. Although probably not all of them. I have +2 for woods. I should say I have to add 2 for woods. I get to subtract 1 for my lieutenant in there. +12
Plus 1.
What do those odds look like? I'm going to throw in 1 more. I'm going to throw in that whole stack. I'm being so, like, overly cautious, but you know what? That's... Oh, no, I'm sorry. 12 with the machine gun. That becomes 15. I'm still on the same stupid column. Damn. Alright, yeah. Let me stop being cheesy. Plus I'm in extreme range, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I can't use... this guy's only worth 3 anyway. Sorry. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is, the same 12 that we keep talking about over and over again. 12 minus 1. However, now I have to add +2 because I'm shooting into woods. I'm not in the cover. You're not in the open. So, it's 12 net plus 1. Alrighty.
Sweet.
Oh, shit, sorry. Webcam time. So that is 4 plus 2. I'm sorry, plus 1 makes 5. 5.
That's a dead man.
What column am I on? 5. So, 4 casualties. There's only literally 1 there.
Yep.
And you can pin him again. Oh, fucking sweet. That took a whole goddamn platoon to do it, but it was worth it. It was worth it. Other fire phase.
Don't think anyone has a target, do they?
These guys have a target right out.
Oh, they have a target right there. Yep.
Literally right in front of them.
Wow, those guys are dead.
Yeah, I was hoping to kind of assault him, but oh my god, where the hell is it? Oh, there's literally only a half a squad in there. Okay, never mind. Oh no, there's another unit in there. There's too much flame and smoke.
I think there's an officer in there.
Yeah. Okay, I got him. Okay. See, this is also where you get to play the NBA because you know that because I'm already adjacent, if I put casualty points in there, just kill them. Because if I pin them, then I assault and I get I get victory points for taking prisoners. That's where you guys get really ruthless. So it's just like stand up and die, you know. Or if the NVA guys try to surrender, your officer just shoots them in the back of the head. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and fire at least. I'm gonna go ahead and fire everybody because if I don't, I'll probably wind up screwing up. All right, you are point blank. However, you're not moving because there's an opportunity fire, so I get no bonus for that. But I can throw in grenades if I want. The only thing is, do I want to save any? No, I'm talking myself in circles here. 16. I'm sorry. 18 plus 3 is 21. 20. I can't add.
25,
18,
26, 27.
Yeah, 27. I have 4 grenades left. I get to subtract 1. 27 subtract 1. The way I've been rolling. I shouldn't talk. I just rolled a 4. Let me stop bitching.
1 off again.
It's totally 1 off. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and throw in a grenade. At least 1 grenade. So another one used up. Take it off the table. So now I get to subtract 2 from the die roll on the blue table. Come on. Turn on the webcam before you roll the dice this time. People are going to think something funny is going on. All right. And of course, now I roll a 3. So a
That's
3.
8.
A 3, well, technically, yeah, it would become, 3 minus 2. I technically
1.
rolled a 1. If the chart went down to 1, I would have done 9, but I only did 8. 8 casualty points. I don't think there are 8 casualty points in there.
Yeah, something tells me they're all dead. You know.
There's 2 and 1. There's only 3 casualty points in the hex. So kill those 2, pin him. Yeah, eat their toast. Sweet. That's going to be it for my direct fire. Now we go to movement.
So the
Damn
movement
it,
with
why
the
did
medic.
I fire everybody? Oh, I fired everybody. I was trying to get a medic team. I wasn't paying attention.
No, you've got the medic and the guys who the booby trap. They can both move.
Yeah, I was trying to save some of this squad to get over there. The reason I fired this squad first at him was he gave up his medic. So anyway, I screwed up. Oh, never mind. This team doesn't even have a medic. Okay, never mind. I don't feel so stupid now. Okay, never mind. Sorry. They did not come back to life. I just hit Control Z one time.
Yes, there is no rule against zombies because science teacher.
Yeah, there you go. We might have what was it? Black Sun.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
Weird
why not?
World War.
One of these days, I'll make up some like zombie NVA counters or whatever, and like every NVA casualty gets a save, and like on a 6 on 1d6, it happens rarely, but he comes back as some kind of zombie. He respawns. Okay. That's why I was able to split this guy up, because I moved the medic out of there. Okay. You guys are just going to have to hold on for a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He can't reach there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Oh boy. Movement phase. Watch me hit another booby trap. That'd be fun, right? That is 4 and 1, so no booby trap.
No. They learn their lesson. And the medic.
Yeah, I'm just gonna move him 1. I can't move him back in there. That hex is now overstacked. Or it would be. It would be if I moved a guy in there. So, because I only want to move him one, I'm just going to leave him alone. I'm going to move him in assault and movement phase so that he does not trigger a booby trap check.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
cool. So that's going to be it for my movement. We now go to your defensive fire phase, which I'm not too happy about.
Okay. I think it's just the douche.
Yeah.
Douche is not that many dice. So.
It's 6, but it's a wash. So +2 -2. Oops. It's a 6. Roll them bones.
Oh. Well, a 2 and a 5.
7 becomes 1 casualty point. I can live with that. Half squad pinned. Okay. All right, so now we go to the American assault and movement phase.
Medic.
Yeah, he just moved 1 hex.
Yep.
Because to have him bolt out into the open, he remember he doesn't have an officer now, so his movement reduces to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
That would have been as far as he could get anyway. And then I guess I could have gotten there for 5 with my assault and movement phase, but then he's got to make a booby trap check. Then you're going to assault him, and I mean, I'm just going to be cool with it. These guys are just going to have to hold on. At least one of these casualties is probably going to bleed out, mathematically speaking. So hopefully I don't lose too many of them. Okay, we go to my after action phase because these guys are both sitting pretty for now. Do I want to move him up?
Yep.
No, I want to leave him right where he is. Oh, I'm sorry. Assault and movement. I'm going to move a small escort force for that medic down there. There we go.
Okay, yep, split them up a little.
Yeah, that I can do. Okay,
Okay,
there.
cool.
Now we go to after action phase. This medic automatically evacuates his casualty because he's a
Yep.
medic, or technically a corpsman. So he is now 4 victory points for you. And I can't get to these 3 casualties, which means it's now the end of the American phase.
You get to rally that pin down unit there.
Dice. Yep, I will in a second. Dice, please be merciful. The dice was merciful.
Oh.
All 3 of them are still alive. Oh, sweet Jesus.
Nice.
All right, I got lucky on that one. All right, yeah, now I'm going to try and rally that officer, rally this half team. He gets, he's an elite, so he starts off at a 7, goes up to an 8. So it starts off on a 6, goes up to a 7, and then goes up to an 8 for the officer. So it's an 8 on 2d6. Oh, thanks very much, Damon. Take it easy, guy. Hope you have a good week.
Hope to see you, man.
Yeah, he's 5 hours ahead of us, so it's 11:14 where he's at. And tomorrow.
Oh, it's pretty late there.
Tomorrow is sadly Monday. Yeah. So, okay, that after action phase could have been worse. Anything going on in the chat? Yay, because science teacher. Time for the air cab to come.
So it's still Sunday for you guys, isn't it?
Yep, it's Sunday at 6 p.m. for us, and for UK it's now 11:14.
Sunday is the Australian National Vietnam Memorial Day.
Yeah, somebody
The anniversary of the Battle of Long Tan.
Somebody in the chat, or not the chat, the Op Center comment thread was mentioning that. Over on Tabletop. Okay. That's going to be it for the American turn. Cool. So we now go over to NVA turn 3.
Okay. So I've only really got the one squad to move.
There you go, Jen. There are now poofs on the table. I hope you're happy. Let me do that in a certain way so the fire is kind of like coming out of the tank. There we go.
At last.
The couple times I managed to talk Jen. That's because science teacher. 5:14. Oh, actually, you're on Central Time, right? Nova Tempor, you're out in Kansas. A couple times I managed to get Jen to play like Axis and Allies 15 millimeter miniatures, not the board game. They actually had a miniature game back in the day. Her favorite part was everyone has them. The little yellow disc with the black cotton kind of coming off of it to signify a burning tank or whatever. She's like, I want to put poofs on the table. I want poofs. I want poofs. She called them poofs. Little black cotton balls. Okay. So now we go to your command phase.
I don't want to split anything up. I don't think I actually can split anything up. So.
1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. You could combine, but yeah, no worries. Cool. Then we go to
I think I'll leave them.
Direct fire phase.
The douche is going to direct fire.
Okay. Back on his best friends down here at LZ Yankee.
Yep, over there on LZ Yankee.
2d6. Add nothing to the roll on the 6th row.
A 5, 1 and a 4.
A 5 becomes a 5. That is 3 casualty points. 1, 2, 3. Hold on, before I do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm making sure you can't assault me. 1. If I pin everybody down and then you assault me, that would be not so.
I think I can end up in C11 if I go F8, 9, 10, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3,
1, 2.
4,
Well.
6. Oh no, sorry, no, I can't.
You also have to pay for going up hills.
Yeah. No, so I can't get you.
Alright, so I will pin all 3 units and hope the after action phase goes well for me. Cool. Okay, now to your movement phase.
Yep. Okay. So I think they're going to go H7, I7, and then down that road.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's the movement phase.
Yep.
No booby traps. No. That's turn, I think.
Opportunity fire.
Oh yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so here's going to be my 2 opportunity fires.
Yep.
The woods hex is not covering the center dot, which means it's light woods. Half of that hex is whatchamacallit? Trail.
Yep.
So that's negative or +1 for me. These trees are at lower levels, so they don't, because we're both on elevation level 2 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and for once I'm actually in range for everything. 6, 3 is 9, and 2 is 11, -1, +1. No penalties or no bonuses for opportunity fire because you're not adjacent and you have some cover. That -1 is only when you're in the open. Now when you're adjacent, that -2 takes place no matter what. It's a weird dogleg in the rules. But that -1 for opportunity fire only applies. I'm sorry, -1 for opportunity fire when you're not adjacent only applies if you are in the bald open hex. Like there's literally nothing in there. Whereas if you are close assaulting next to me or something like that, okay, I get to add 2 to the die roll. Or I should say subtract 2. I get to subtract 2 from my die roll. Now I have to add 2 for your woods or whatever, But anyway, I talked too long about that. It's one of the less elegant parts of the rule system. I do understand why he did it that way, but it's not the most intuitive thing. But anyway, so the long story short is, there you go, take a shot. I do not get a -1 bonus for opportunity fire. -1 for my officer, +1 for Woods. 6, 3 is 9, and 2 for the officer makes 11. It barely gets me on the grade table. Sweet. Come on,
Ooh.
die roll. 10. That ain't shit. 10 flush becomes nothing. Alright. Got away with that
Try
one.
it again. And the next one should be the same.
Next one is... No, there's no officer in there. It's only going
It's
to
a
be...
blooper. That's right.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 squads, so that's 12. The blooper can't reach. 1, 2, 3. The blooper only has a range of 3. So the guy can't use the blooper. So it's only 12 +1 for your Woods. So it's actually a little bit of a worse roll. I'm on the same thing, and now I have to add 1 to my die roll. Come on, there's a good sergeant in that squad. I know there is. Nope. That is a 9. That becomes a 10. That's no effect.
Oh, that was lucky.
All right, and he continues to skedaddle down that road. Now, the tank can't do anything, obviously. The tank is toast. Three sixes is 18. 3 is 21. Ooh, except 1, 2, 3, 4. They can't all fire. I have to fire while you're in L9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I have to fire when you're in L9. +1 for Woods. Light Woods. Oh, no, I can't because... Damn it. I can't do it. And here's why. So I can't fire on you while you're in K9. I'm talking about this hex here. Because in K9, we're blocked by the hooches. Okay, by the time you go into L9, now you're on the valley floor, and these valley floor hexes block.
Okay.
And now in that hex, these valley hex. So this guy cannot shoot. This hex up here cannot shoot. We had to shoot on you before you hit the valley floor. Once you dipped off that ridge and you're in the valley floor, you kind of vanish. Which is not good news. I have an officer that can still see you, but again, he already shot. Alright, cool. That is going to be it for my opportunity fire. We now go to my defensive fire. I still don't have any targets. We go to, I'm sorry, your assault and movement phase.
Yep. The big group there will move into N10.
November 10. Are the Yanks running away or tactically moving? The Yanks are trying to rescue some casualties before they fall into enemy hands, is what's happening. We are going to have a gigantic battle over Leonidas' body right here in this hex, which is sadly appropriate because that's also my company commander. That is literally my king, Leonidas. I've heard it pronounced a couple
Leonidas.
ways. It is Leonidas? Okay.
I don't know how to do Greek. I was Latin, so I don't know how to do Greek.
I've heard it Leonidas and Leonidas. I've heard it both ways. Okay, so that was your after action phase. You have no prisoners. No, okay, cool. Now we go to American turn 4.
Bob to his friends, Tuffy is, says.
Probably. Okay, American command phase begins with everyone automatically rallying.
Instant rallies.
Awesome. American command phase continues with, I have an officer with a line of sight on that douche.
Yep.
Finally. One big mistake I made was moving that officer off that hill. I really shouldn't have done that. Now, do I want to waste that much stuff down there? I'm going to use one of my light barrages. Oh, you can't see over that hill anyway. When will we be able to see each other? I don't think we will. All right. You know what? He's in a building, and these things tend to drift. I want to make sure that he's toast. All right. So here we go.
Yep.
We're calling in some many problems here. Okay. First of all,
105s and
105s and 81 millimeter mortars from battalion is literally what they are. So first of all, nope, sorry, wrong thing. The heavy barrage, 1 through a 5. 3, actually, I'm sorry, 1 through a 4. 3, it does not drift. 1 through a 4 for first light barrage. 1, it does not drift. 1 through a 4 for the second light barrage. It does not drift.
Nice.
Sweet. All 3 of them landed right in the pickle barrel. Nice. Now, the officer is calling corrections. So first we do light barrage, that is the yellow table. Subtract 1, add 2 for your buildings, because you are in a building when this barrage comes in.
Yep.
So, webcam time. First light barrage. Oh man, that was sweet. I'm not going to complain about dice no more. Subtract 1 for my officer, add 2 for your building. That actually becomes a 4. That is 7 casualty points. Next, another 5. That becomes a 6. That
13.
is 13 casualty points. And then this orange, again, add 1 to the roll for the heavy barrage. That is a 6, becomes a 7, 5 more, 18 casualty points. All right, where's my? Here you go,
that's
Joe.
actually enough to delete the building hex itself. That's whoa.
They don't have rules for that, but we should make them up. That was like an arc light strike on that. Boom! Oh, and that's the end of that douche. Very happy to hear about that. All right. Off-board missions can also be used to call in smokescreen, which I was thinking about here, but I think that hill's going to do my job for me. So that's it for my command phase. Direct phase, I have no line of sight.
Yep.
Hill blocks me and trees block me. So now it's time for Mr. Movement. Just to start the formal process of taking objective hexes. And, he moved 1, so he only has to roll a 12 to avoid a booby trap. And that is a 7. No worries there.
Yep.
Now these guys, sadly for me, are not going to be able to use the assault movement phase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, coming out of a... Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3... I think that's 6. 4, 5, 6. I have to pay for coming out of the stream and then for going up the hill. So that's 1 for movement, obviously, and then 1 for the stream, 1 for the hex. Or I can do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's a little less confusing. Shit, I thought I could reach him this turn. I thought I could. I can't. I forgot about the stream. Because now I get my assault movement, or whatever my advance and assault phase. I thought I could get in this hex this turn, but I cannot. I'm 1 hex short again. Damn you! Make sure that hex is still legal. 1, 2, officer. 3, 4.
Yep. It'll just be a separate booby trap check, won't it?
Oh yeah. And they both have to roll against an 11. This is what you don't want to do, guys. Fuck another booby trap. And the other one was a 6 and a 10. He almost hit another booby trap.
Oh, lucky.
You're lucky. And you know what? I just rolled, what was it, 23 casualty points? It was like 18 casualty points on that hooch. I'm not going to complain. So we hit the booby trap in that X. Fucking hell, man. Okay, that's going to be it for my movement phase. There was no opportunity fire. We now go to your defensive fire. I don't think there is any.
No, because I can't see over that elevation.
That's the only unit we have left on the table. And then we go to my after action phase.
Yes, so you'll have an automatically evacuated casualty.
Yeah. So the medic was in there. If there's ever time to get hit by a booby trap, now's the time when the medic is literally right next to you. Oh, I have to take off the squad too. That might be helpful. And assault and movement phase. For when you inevitably charge. Okay, I make sure I still have line of sight on that hex. Oh God, I have to do this one more time. I don't believe this. I don't believe this, and I don't have nearly as much firepower as I had last time. Alright, so you know what? I'm going to use my assault and movement phase.
Just edge up a little.
Yeah, they have to belly crawl up. Now, the medic can't, because the medic spent time getting rid of that casualty. He has to stay in that hex. Yeah, his after action phase was busy doing something else. Alright, we still can't see each other, but I gotta keep an eye out for when you decide to pop over onto either M11 or N11. Try and capture those prisoners. Okay, now we're at the end of that phase. I have to get lucky one more time.
Oh, yes, for the...
Bleed outs. 2 guys have now died.
Oh.
Couldn't get to him fast enough. Play the adagio for strings, guys. They held on as long as they could. There's one guy in there still bleeding to death. Alright, that is it for American Turn 4.
Okay. So I don't want to combine those.
Let me do some retroactive movement, if you don't mind, before I get going.
That's fine.
1,
Let's get through the chat.
2.
Tuffy says if they had been Royal Marines, Charlie would have woken up dead.
1, 2, 3, 4. I own that. I own that objective hex. And again, this objective hex. I actually do have to start taking these objective hexes. It sounds like a formality, but again, I have to do movement to take all the objective hexes, and I can hit more booby traps. So I have to be a little careful with that. Okay. I don't think, right now I'm at the end of turn 4, I don't think I'm going to reach all 7 objective hexes, but we'll see. Okay, over to your turn. You have nothing to automatically rally. I don't think you're combining or splitting anything. So we go to your direct fire. You have no line of sight. If it had been the Royals Marines, Charlie would have woken up dead. Well, you know, that's fine. That's cool. I'm going to go ahead and respectfully disagree with that. But that's cool. And by the way, we're in I-Corps sector, Tuffy Ears. This isn't Charlie. This is Mr. Charles. And by the way, that's a historical fact. The Marines did not call them Charlie in First Corps sector. He was Mr. Charles.
Oh, didn't they? Mr. Charles.
He was. Hey, you hate. Down in the other Corps sectors, he was Charlie, and various other racial slurs that I won't say here on stream. But yeah, Charlie. But then up in I-Corps, or I-Corps, some people call it First Corps. Up in the northern part, you know, Battle of Way City, Quezon, it was Mr. Charles. You respected the enemy up there. He was just much tougher. I mean, it's formal military, straight out, a regular force, better officers, full equipment, artillery like you wouldn't believe. At one time, even tanks. I mean, Vietnam was always a guerrilla war, obviously, but up in the north, it was the closest it came to an actual real live army versus army fight. At least during the American involvement phase. Once the Americans leave, then you start talking about the Easter Offensive, the Ho Chi Minh Offensive, where the NVA formally invades South Vietnam, and then you have pitched, straight-out conventional battles between South Vietnamese ARVN ground units and North Vietnamese NVA ground units. That's when the T-55s come in. You see all that footage versus M41 Walker Bulldogs, and things get really crazy then. Yeah, it's Mr. Charles. That's Mr. Charles to you there, Toughy Ears. By the way, LSR, you should be offended. He just called you Charlie. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so that is, there's no direct fire. We go to your movement, which I have a funny feeling I know what's going to happen.
Okay, so quick question. Can I end up in M12 or do I have to go to N11 and then assault M12?
1.
There's a lot of elevation.
2, 3. No, you can technically do it. Because the NVA are nothing if not fast. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, they got bigger.
1.
So could I go N11, M12, or...
Oh, okay, hold on. You started off here. So you're trying to assault Mike 12, right?
Yeah,
I'm trying to assault.
I'm saying, do I have to assault it, or can I move into it as well?
If you assault it, you have to move into it.
Yep.
Yeah, no matter what, you're going to assault into it. Yeah.
Yep. But I mean, do I have to assault it in the assault and movement phase, or can I move into it in the movement phase?
No, you have to assault it because technically it's still an American hex.
Okay. Yep. Cool. So I'll basically just end up in N11.
Okay. Boom. And now we're going to take some degree of opportunity fire.
Yep.
The best we can, anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This guy can only fire with some of his weapons. 3 plus 3 is 6. Minus 1, minus 2. 6 minus 2. Alright, here we go. Webcam time. Oh, get rid of that 6. We don't want that. That is 8 minus 2 is 6. On the 6 table, that's 2 casualty points.
I'll take out 1 squad. Just a half squad.
1 half squad. Sweet. Boom, there he goes. Alright, now this guy's a lot closer. He also has an officer, so that's 6, 9. Oh, I guess the officer's carrying the blooper. 6, 9. He can because it's a light weapon. 2.
Yep.
And who is that, by the way? Who's carried the blooper? Pierce. I wish I was still in touch with him. I'd let him know. Dude, you just totally close assaulted some NVA with a blooper under your arm. It was awesome. People do get into it. My World War I armory had Captain Pollock in there. That's a Silver Fox 8 on tabletop. And then I ran across him at a Storicon, and he was like, dude, I was totally watching my guy kick ass in the trenches of Flanders. Or not Flanders, San Mihel. Well, it's got to be down where the Americans are. So San Mihel, Argonne Forest, all that stuff. Further to the south, further to the southeast. Okay, so that's 6 for the officer with the blooper, and 9 for the half squad with the M60. 9 plus 6 is 15 minus 1. I can't throw grenades because I'm not quite adjacent. Up on this column, subtracting 2. Now it's time for a good roll. This would be nice. This would be nice. That's not really a good roll. 9 becomes a 7. 2 more casualty points.
2 more casualty points. Okay. I will take another half squad.
Okay.
So, actually, I'll split the full squad into 1 half.
There you go. There you go. And what's the difference? Folks, he now has 3 infantry units in this hex, not 2. So it might be a little gamey, but he's actually, yeah, it actually helps. That's now an unsecured casualty because you take that hex. You are obviously not pinned. Oh my god. I'm getting slaughtered. And I think that concludes your turn.
Yep.
Okay, let me do this by the numbers. Could not rescue Captain Waterman. We tried but failed. That's okay, we gave it a go. Okay, so first we do command phase. Move to the top of the screen. You know what, I'm going to say I'm just going to not take in that whole second batch of artillery, because that's just obscene. And I'll just say I have got 1 light barrage left. And
Yep.
I'll call it in now.
Here we go. Danger close, folks. Danger
Yeah,
close.
don't laugh. It's actually possible. All right, so... Oh, shit, I did it again. Sorry. 1 is it did not drift.
Yep.
If it drifts on a 5 or a 6, it can possibly drift. Actually, on a 6, it drifts 2 hexes. I'm fine. So I'd have to roll a 5. That means it drifts 1 hex. And then I would have to roll a 6 after that. And then it would be... Where does it drift to? 1, 2, 3. That would be a hex. 4, 5, 6. It is possible to call in artillery on yourself. I have seen it happen. Actually, didn't it happen once? At like one of the first games of Valorant Victory you ever played? You had the Australians on defense.
Yeah, I nuked myself at one point.
You called in a mortar on one squad and missed, and it drifted onto another one of my squads.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the very first game we played.
You missed, but didn't miss. All right, so now I just have to roll well on this. Okay, turn on Mr. Webcam here. Again, it is being called in by a officer. So -1. Actually, it has to be called in by an officer. That's just the way we play. You can call in from any unit. I say an officer has to do it. I
Yep,
guess
makes
that's not really entirely true. When I say officer, I formally mean leader. Not all these -1 or -2 guys have to be commissioned officers. They can be outstanding NCOs, senior NCOs, master sergeants, or this is the Marine Corps, gunnery sergeants, master sergeants, first sergeants. All right. Anyway, it wouldn't be a master sergeant; it would be a first sergeant in the Marine Corps. Master sergeant's back at Da Nang filling out paperwork. All right. Enough jibber jabber. I roll 2d6 and subtract 1 from the result because you are in. Oh, you're in woods now. Sorry.
Yep. So
Plus
it's
2
adding
for
some
woods.
to the roll.
Yeah, it's adding 1. Adding 1.
Oh no, don't woods give you a bonus for artillery though?
Yes,
airburst?
for mortars, not artillery. For mortars, it
Oh,
gives
for
you
mortars,
air burst. So the way it works is, yeah, that's a good point. It's kind of weird. I have to add 1 to my roll because again, you're in woods. I can't see you very well, or technically jungle. I can't see you very well. But whatever numbers I happen to roll, whatever I land on, then doubles. So let's say I roll a 6.
That's right.
That 6 goes to a 4, then it doubles to 8. And that's because the mortar shells are exploding in the trees.
Yep.
Yeah, there isn't a rule, and it's not even my rule. That rule's in Valorant Victory. So here we go with add 1 to this roll net. Oh my god. Alright, that fell off the box there. Alright, so 10 becomes an 11. That's 0.
Oh.
0 doubles to 0. What's 0 times
Oh.
what's 0 times 2, everybody? So that's that's the end of that artillery barrage. That was a big fat splat
That's
of
some
nothing.
lucky dudes.
All right, now we have to do things the old-fashioned way. See, that's what happens when you kill our casualties in there. We call it mortars on you, but then we wind up shooting worth of shit anyway. Okay, direct fire phase. I have 2 infantry units in that hex, which means I can throw in 2 grenades because I'm adjacent.
Yep.
2 plus, we figured this out last time, that's 6 plus 9 is 15. 15 minus 3 plus 2, so 15 minus 1. Net, minus 1. There we go. There we go. There we go. Finally. All right, so that was an actual.
7
That was
casualties.
actual 2. 7 casualty points. When the artillery fails, we go in there with grenades and e-tools, Marine Corps style. Lobotomizer, baby. They call them the lobotomizer for a reason.
That's right, they do, don't they? They call it the
Yeah.
lobotomizer.
Yep, it's very good at taking out people's brains. There's a reason the Marine Corps entrenchment tool has a serrated edge on one side. It's supposedly to, quote, cut down brush. And if you believe that, I've got a bridge to sell you at a nice cheap price. All right, so I don't know if you can save anybody against 7 casualty points in
Yep,
there.
they're all dead. Yeah.
Nice. That is a tabled NVA force. Okay. And we didn't even have to assault the hex. Awesome. All right. We now continue American turn 5 with movement phase. 1, 2, he's on the road. 3, 4. Booby trap check. That is a 3.
Sweet. He just loves it.
That is turn 5. He then makes his 1 point movement. His 1 point of assault movement.
Yep.
And then on turn 6, he's going to get up into that hex there. I got to get lucky one more time. Whoa, where was I here? I was in F3 a second ago. Oh no, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, he has to use his full movement.
Assault move, yeah.
Yeah, technically, yeah, because it costs 2 to get in the building, so he has to go 1, 2, and then that is a 5 and a 2. Oh shit! I'm sorry, everybody. I keep doing that. I'm gonna go ahead and re-roll because I keep doing that and it's cheesy. 5. Okay, he did not hit a booby trap. Uses his assault movement, gets in that hex. So that means that we occupied all objective hexes except these 2. We never got to here. We never got to there by the end of the turn. If I'd been screwing around, I probably could have gotten. None of these guys down here could have reached in that much time. So those 2 hexes are technically still under your control. LZ Whiskey and this road leading north into Laos, or leading northeast over into northwest into Laos. So that is game. This was a bloody one, guys. All right, so who does everyone think who does everyone think won? I did not take any prisoners. Marines take no prisoners. We just nuked everybody. Okay, now for some bad news.
Well, when you call in 8 mortar tubes and 4 105s on a single guy in a hooch, that's
It wasn't a single guy. It was a 4-man team and an officer.
A 4-man team.
And a
That's
friggin'
a douche.
A friggin' douche, man. All right, so
But, yeah, that's a technical casualties approach.
Points on the Jim wins. I doubt it. We'll see. It's going to be close.
I think it'd be close.
4 times 8. That's unsecured casualty points. 32 points for Dylan. Plus 3 casualties that I managed to get off the table. They're worth 4 points apiece. That's 12. And he still controls 2 points. 2 objective hexes.
Victory.
So that is 5 points apiece, like I said. That is 22 plus 32 is 54. is that total. That's an ugly, ugly number. I don't think I won. I'm pretty positive I didn't. Pretty positive I didn't. I now control 5 victory hexes. 25. And tabled the NVA. The NVA had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Is 47. Oops. So the score turns out to be 54 to 47 NVA victory. And
Nice.
obviously it was this hex down here. It was M12. That just
That's literally 2 casualty points. Oh,
yeah. If I had been able
That's
to reach
close,
him,
man.
if I had been able to reach him, that would have. If I had been able to reach him, that would have saved 2. Actually, if I had been able to save him, that would have been minus 12 points. If I had been able to, if I had been 1 hex closer, that score goes down to a 42 to 47 American victory.
Yep. Or if you hadn't hit the 2 booby traps, that would go down to a 46.
Yep. But as it is 22 plus 32 is 54. Yep. Oh no! I let the Marine Corps down. That ain't right. All right, guys. That is another play test of. You forgot 8 for being a. Yeah, there you go. Marine Corps just gets a free 8. So 8 plus 47 is 55. Toughy Year said it, so it's true. It's in the chat.
Victory.
There you go. I can't believe my tank got blown up, man. That ain't cool. I had some bad rolls, but I had some really good rolls too, so I can't even blame the dice. Yeah, that was a good game. Again,
Awesome. Thanks, Jim.
all these modern warfare games are so asymmetrical that balancing them is really hard. It's not like Normandy, where you can put a company of Americans up against a company of Germans, throw on some hedgerows, and have fun. You've really got to keep your eye on a lot of very serious disbalances, and the bigger the game, the tougher it gets to keep all that stuff in balance. But again, this game came down to, okay, we're looking at 7 points, but really it came down to 1 or 2 die rolls. Geographically, it came down to 1 hex. If these guys had been literally 1 hex closer, I would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then my assault movement phase, get into that hex before he can assault it, save all those casualties, or at least some of them, and wind up with a win, or at least a tie. It came down to 1 or 2 die rolls, and literally at one point 1 hex of distance. Also, if I had been a little bit more smart and a little bit aggressive, I might have been able to take, like with 1 more turn, I might have been able to take 1 more objective hex. So, who knows. But playing by the rules and playing fair, whereas, you actually make the American go through the effort of taking all the objective hexes, because number 1, he's going to run out of time, and number 2, he can hit a booby trap, so you have to be careful there. What we've done in the past sometimes is when the American side wins, we just say, okay, the NVA is tabled on turn 4, the Americans get all the objective hexes. You really shouldn't do that. It makes the Americans very overpowered, and we just saw it happen. If we had done that, if we had just said, oh yeah, the Americans have all the objective hexes, that is these 10 gone for you and 10 more for me. So now your score goes down to a 44, I get 57. So that's obviously not the fair way to do it. But at the same time, I probably, like these guys down here, I probably could have hustled a little bit. Back on turn 4. Turn 4, 1, 2, 3, if there's an officer in there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Assault move, that's turn 1. Turn 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now on the road. 6, assault move. Yeah, I totally threw that game away. I could have taken at least 1 of those objective hexes. If I had just moved these guys, starting, when did they get secured over there? Yeah, turn 4. Would you mind if I said I did that?
Yeah, go for it.
I'll make my booby trap checks. That would have been 1 on turn 4, one on turn 5 and one on turn 6.
Yep.
And obviously I'm moving full speed on all of them. Watch me make it worse now by hitting a booby trap. A 9, that's close. That's 1.
That's 4.
Number 2. Whew, okay. And number 5.
Last one.
That was turn 5. Now it's turn 6. Okay, he made it. Now, what that
Sweet,
does...
so you tag another objective.
That takes one more objective. That means this is really only 5. And this is 30. I still think I lose, but it's a little closer now. 32, 44, 47. That can't be right.
So it goes 49.
49, hello. And 30,
That'd be 52.
52. That's actually an American victory.
Yep, that's much more what I thought it would be. Much
Alright.
closer.
Does anyone think I'm super cheesy, or are we going to call Dylan like Gentleman of the Year for letting me redo?
No, that's fine. No, it's just something you generally forgot to do.
Letting me
I do that
redo
all the time.
3 phases of movement.
Yep. Well, you did roll for them and everything. Like,
Oh God!
you easily could have blown yourself up there.
Yeah.
And I would have taken even more victory points. So.
Yeah, that was a risk. If I had failed that roll, number 1, I don't get the objective hex, and number 2, that's 4 more victory points down. Well, there would have been a medic in there. I would have gotten him off the table, but still, that's 4 victory points down. If it had happened, I would have lost 4 and still gotten the objective hex. Then the score is... Oh, we're doing this too many different ways. 53
to 52.
to 52. Then you win by 1 point. So yeah, if I had hit a booby trap, you would have won by 1 point. All right, guys. So yeah, one more time. Yeah, there you go. We both win. He wins. What's the word for it? Sportsman of the tournament. For letting me redo 3 whole literally half the game of movement for 1 unit. I super appreciate it. Now I don't feel so bad about losing with the polls yesterday. Quite so bad. When you play with
I can't wait to see some of that.
When you play with the polls in 1939, you kind of expect to lose, but you're not supposed to lose to that level. I mean, I got curb stomped yesterday, and it wasn't. I can't even just blame the dice. He also really set up some really good assaults. So. And Panzer Leader is tougher than this game. Panzer Leader is a game with a steep learning curve, and that was his second game, and he's really started to unlock some of its math. So good on him. He totally deserves that win, even though he was a Polish player playing the Germans, invading his own country. But I'm not gonna post that all over YouTube or anything. I'm totally kidding. All right, guys. So one more time, thanks very much, everyone, for coming out to our stream. Thanks very much for hanging out with us here on SitRep. Let me go ahead and turn on Mr. Webcam here so I can be social for just a second. I was trying to read the chat here, and I had my glasses on. I have to read my chat on my phone, and it's not terribly easy. So cool. All right, everybody. Again, super appreciate everybody coming out for another SitRep stream. Here on a Sunday. I know, weekend time is super valuable for everybody. Everybody have a great week going forward. We appreciate all your support. Check out the Op Center if you haven't seen it yet. Op Center number 3 for Vietnam is now being written, and we have recorded we have recorded SitRep podcast yesterday. That'll be going out later on this week as well. Gianna should be streaming on Thursday, so keep an eye out for that. That's back to, old school, painting hobby craft. And, what else can I say? We super appreciate everyone's support. Thanks again, everybody. Thank you, computer, for not melting very much. I appreciate it. Thanks one more time, Dylan, for letting me go for that objective hex. And,
awesome. Thanks for the game, Jim.
Oh, no
Jim
worries.
literally designs every one of these tokens and maps and everything, so Jim puts a lot of work into these things.
Yeah, I drew this map today. Although, again, by now I have so much stuff in stock in Photoshop, templates here and there, that I can whip these maps together in like 2 hours. And we do a custom map for every scenario that we do on Thursday. That we do on Sunday. By the way, as long as everyone is here on the stream, if anybody ever wants to try out one of these games, we have Naval Command. If you like Naval Command, we have Dark Star. We don't just do historical. We do sci-fi. We do Panzer Leader from 1939 to 1991 and counting. I'm going to go into 21st century soon for Panzer Leader. We do Valor and Victory for the 1982 Falklands, 1991. What happened to my webcam here? Yeah, we do all kinds of stuff, guys, and it's not just historical. If you ever want to give it a shot, we're here on stream again every Sunday. We also game off stream on Saturday. All you gotta do is reach out. Throw me a PM over there on a private message over on Tabletop, and yeah, we'll set up a time. Dylan's tried it, Damon's tried it, Rasmus has tried it, Bruce Lee's tried it. I can't remember, Darren over in China has tried it. We've had players in Puerto Rico. We've had players in the UK, Germany, Denmark, China, Australia a couple times, all over the US. It's easy to do, guys. So again, if you ever want to give it a shot, by all means, just hit me with a PM and we'll set up a time. So I'm going to go ahead and close down the stream, everybody. Thanks one more time for coming out to SitRep, and we'll see you again later on in the week. Take care, everybody.